Hey there, and welcome to my channel, The Paper Bag Investor. Today I want to look at an email that came from the Very Good Food Company. Their stock ticker is Very.cn. I've done a couple other videos on them, and they're a small part of my portfolio. But a very, very important email came from them earlier this week, and I want to give my reaction and a little bit of discussion about it. So let's get into it. Before I go much further, I just want to make it absolutely super clear that I am not a personal financial advisor. I'm just a guy with a paper bag on his head who loves investing and thinking about the future. If you love investing, you love thinking about the future, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below and follow along with my channel as it grows. Become a better investor with me. My channel is all about finding what I think are huge opportunity companies that could 5, 10, 15, 20x over time. And I think Very Good Foods could possibly be one of those companies, even from the current price point going forward. And I'm going to bring up the email that they sent and just kind of walk through it with you guys. So here's the email. Very Good Food Company announces new production facility, U.S. wholesale broker relationship, and operational update. And the most exciting thing out of this email, I'm just going to scroll down into it a little bit, is the size of what they're calling the Rupert facility, which is going to be in Vancouver. They kind of note that there, Vancouver, British Columbia, the Rupert facility is signed a lease to secure a new facility there. Okay, yada yada. And they talk about the size of it, 45,000 square feet of production, refrigeration, warehousing, R&D, and office space. But here's the biggest thing, the amount they're expecting to produce. They're expecting to, out of the Rupert facility, it's capable of producing 37 million pounds of annualized product to be phased in over the next year. I'll just highlight this because you guys can see this. Over next year, representing an approximate increase of 2,690% over expected annualized production capacity of the current company's Victoria facility of 1.375 million pounds. So I was there about a month ago in Victoria. I went to their Victoria store, which has their facility kind of attached to it. It's a pretty small store and, sort of warehouse, kind of a warehouse district, farmers market kind of building it's in. They sell product out of the front of, and yeah, relatively small. And when I saw this number, 37 million pounds, I was just blown away and got me very, very excited as a shareholder, because this is just a massive. It means that the management of Very Good Foods is really aggressively planning to grow. And I've read that, and I've sort of mentioned that in my first video I did, that it really seems like they want this to be a multi-billion dollar company, and they believe that their products are good enough to carry it to that state. And when you see this kind of, these kind of numbers just on the Vancouver facility, they have one in Victoria, the smaller one that they started with, then this bigger one in Vancouver, and then they're also going to be building one or leasing and creating a manufacturing facility out of California as well. So when I see this kind of numbers, 37 million pounds out of Vancouver, just shows me like how serious they are about growing. Because if you go 37 million pounds, because further down here, they talk about needing to hire some people. The timely availability of the Rupert facility has presented us a unique opportunity to address near-term demand while we work to operationalize our facility in Patterson, California. So he's talking about the California facility they're going to get up and running. We expect to bring the Rupert facility online swiftly and to add significant capital to address current production shortfalls, rising from strong demand for our products in Canada and the U.S. So this is their CEO, Mitchell Scott. She'll read down further. So Very Good Foods products are currently sold in approximately 275 retail outlets, which represent 6% of the total number of retail stores of both smaller independent and grocery. But they're on a waiting list for 50 different prospective wholesale partners. And they expect to sell 70% of their future production through wholesale channels. So the other 30% would be like through their own storefronts. And one thing I do like about them is they're also planning to sell their products direct to consumer, which I think a niche product like vegan-based meats and other products like that, selling direct to a consumer where you subscribe for a box that comes every week or 2 weeks or whatever you want, I think is a great business model, and they could obviously make higher margins on that than the wholesale. Because currently they sell their products, I think it's about $16 a pound on average. But it says here in this email, the wholesale products would, when they're selling 70% of things wholesale, they're going to plan to sell them for about gross sales per pound ranging from $7 to $10. So if you take the average of that, say 7 to 10, say you just say the average is $8.50 a pound, and you go, what was it, 37 million was the number? Yeah, 37 million. So I'm just going to bring up a calculator here. So you say 37 million pounds a year and say $8.50 per pound. Then you're talking $315 million in revenue from that Vancouver. Say everything that's made in Vancouver gets sold wholesale, for example. Some of that, maybe it is not. Some of that might be sold at a higher rate, like I said, with more margins if it's direct to consumer. But if we just take that all as wholesale sales, that's $315 million in sales. Their current annualized sales are Very Good Food. If you look back to it, their numbers released in June were kind of around $5 million a sale of year, and that's been upping as their production's been upping. So obviously there's a concern when you're talking about a facility that size as an investor. Are they really going to be able to sell all that? But it seems like they wouldn't build it if they didn't think they really could, or they wouldn't be signing that kind of a lease. So it's very exciting as an investor. Is massive growth ahead. I actually bought more shares of this company this week after reading this news. And it's just exciting. And then they also go on in the email, U.S. wholesale broker relationship. It's going to be a wholesale partner in the United States specifically. And they have this partnership. They're happy about that in advance of the production ramp scheduled in 2021. Yeah, it's very, very exciting. They also talk about another facility they have in Vancouver. Yeah. Which is also going to be like this, another one in Vancouver, which is going to be about more R&D and another restaurant. So that's kind of neat that they're sort of getting their products out there in a restaurant form. But obviously for me, the much more exciting thing is that 37 million pounds of product a year. Like, that's just insane. That's so, in my second video I did on them, I was just guessing, like, maybe it's the size of the Victoria facility, and then maybe they build another one in California. And, I was guessing maybe in the next couple of years they could have maybe $50 million in sales. But if they do even if they do something like a fraction of what they're saying, out of the Vancouver facility, maybe 2 years from now they're doing $300 million in sales, and if they really hit it out of the park, maybe that one's there, and the California facilities gets up and running. Maybe that's the size of Vancouver. Maybe they're planning. So then it could be easily like 600-700 million in sales a year. Of course, all within this, that as you grow to that kind of scale, you're kind of a tiny growth company that they are right now, but then as you scale up to that kind of a much bigger, a much larger company, there's obviously the biggest risk, really obvious risk is, execution for one, and just executing to grow to that size. But I think they could do that. You're not SpaceX trying to land rockets or do anything really technical. You're just making food products that they have proprietary recipes for and producing those. So I think they'll do okay in execution. But even bigger risk is, are they going to try and grow too big too fast and overgrow the demand that's there for their products, and then be stuck with huge lease and capital investment in the whatever machines and refrigeration and other appliances they need to produce their products. If they overgrow beyond what the demand is, they could be in big trouble. It could be really, really bad. But it seems like, demand for these kind of meat products is growing. whether it's for people that care about animal rights, whether it's people that care about want to eat that way and eat less meat and eat more veggies and believe it's healthier for their diet. I'm not a dietitian, so I don't even want to comment on that or think about that. I'm just thinking it from an investor's eyes. Or is it because, it's or the even bigger reason is a climate change reason. There are people buying vegan meats because of climate issues, which would be probably one of the bigger reasons I would care about that sort of product myself personally, but each person's different. All I'm trying to say is I think the demand for the vegan meats is growing, and the demand through the whole world, I think is growing. In general, I think demand from the population, the world's increasing. The overall kind of average wealth of the individual in the world's increasing, and the average person who wants to eat meat, I think, is increasing. And then obviously different reasons why specifically a vegan meat, that demand for that veggie kind of meat is also increasing. So I think the demand's probably there. I'm just excited to see management aiming for these huge numbers and really going for it with this company. And I would be curious to hear what you guys think. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you a fan of Very Good Foods? Are there things about it that scare you as an investor? Have you tried the products? What do you think of them? Are you a vegan eater? Just let me know what you guys think. I'm still, like I said, this is a really small part of my portfolio still, but I am excited about it. And as a Canadian, it's exciting too, as it's a little Canadian company that's really trying to grow and become huge. So yeah, that's a little video, some of my thoughts, and appreciate you guys for taking your time watching, listening to my yattering, and thank you so much. If you got value out of this video, I really encourage you hit that subscribe button down below and follow along, become a better investor with me. While you're at it, just hit that thumbs up, smash the like button. Really helps me out, and appreciate you all. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Okay.